everybody. So initially I had a completely other video planned. I even filmed it and began editing it. But I decided to change the topic based upon a suggestion from one of my friends and something that happened to me today. So first of all, you have to know that I love my church. I struggle in it, as I think most of us do, but I do love it. My life would be completely different without it. I'll try not to get too sappy, but that's probably where we're gonna go. I'll pick the pace back up next week. But so in my church, I'm a member of the LDS Church and the Latter-day Saints, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I have been my whole life. And in this church, when you turn 18, you either, if you're a boy, you go on a mission, or you can join, boys and girls can join something called a singles ward, where it's basically what it is. Instead of a whole group of families and friends meeting together, it's basically 18 to I think the age is 32 of singles or people that aren't married, not completely single. So when I turned 18, I joined a singles ward. And my singles ward back home, I enjoyed. I feel bad because I didn't go that often, and that's because of some things I've been going through. And so I've just recently moved, and now I'm in a new ward. So today I got all gussied up for church because you're in a singles ward, you want to impress the boys. I mean, come on, girls. Really? I dressed up to impress. So I wake up and I get ready and I feel smoking. I have this gorgeous dress on, my hair is perfect, my makeup's working for me today. It is all going on. And for the first time in so long, I felt ready and confident, and I was gonna get it done. And I was gonna stay for all 3 hours for all 3 meetings. So I go to church and I go to Relief Society and I sit down and I'm getting ready to go. Now, I listen a lot differently than other people listen. I listen, but I have to be doing something else. I always feel like I have to be doing something. And even if I'm just watching TV, I have to be, maybe doing something on my phone or on my computer or something. I always have to be doing something. So when I'm at church, I do listen. I promise you I listen. And I absorb, but I also play on my phone and I go on Pinterest and I read my Twitter, but I pay attention and I listen and I know what I'm hearing. So I go feeling confident and ready to learn, and I kind of look around the room, and a couple of the girls are giving me very judgmental stares. And at first it didn't bother me, but every so often they would look over and kind of give me the up down, oh, who's that girl? Who does she think she is? Why is she playing on her phone during church? Like, who does she think she is? Why is she even here? And I try not to let it bother me because, I am who I am and I know what I can do. And I know how I function, and that's not their business, it's my business. And then just as the meeting progresses, they just don't stop. They keep judging me, and we would sing hymns, and I may struggle with my testimony about some of the things in the gospel that I learn. But when I sing the hymns, that's when I feel it. And so even though I do not have the voice of an angel, I can carry a tune, but it is not the most beautiful tune you've ever heard. It's nice. I don't know. I don't want to talk myself up too much so you don't judge me on my singing. Speaking of judgment. But, I like to belt it out because that's what I love. I love to sing the songs, and I love to feel that spirit that I feel when I do. And so I'm belting it out like I usually do, even though I don't know anybody, and even though I'm starting to feel really self-conscious because of all these stares, and they just get worse. And so I left after that first meeting, after Relief Society. My ward meets backwards, for those of you who are in the church. It's Relief Society Sunday School sacrament meeting. But I left because the feeling of that complete and utter judgment, and I'm sure there were girls that, I don't know, maybe thought it was nice or didn't know who I was, didn't really care, but just the stares of these few girls the whole time and the complete judgment and dislike in their eyes drove me away. And so I don't know, I sent a couple of texts to my best friends, and they were awesome about it. But, and then I called my mom because I felt heartbroken. And I'm not saying that I'm not confident in myself. I mean, there are things I struggle with. I think like every boy and girl. I mean, there are a lot of things I struggle with. But not so much that I like to get down on myself all the time. But I called my mom in tears because I felt ugly and stupid and annoying and like that weird girl that nobody talks to. And that's something I've been afraid of my whole life. I've always been afraid to be the weird girl that nobody talks to. And I know I have amazing friends and I have amazing family. And I'm not saying anything about that. It's just something that I have to work on. But I don't know. And then talking to my mom and talking to my friends, it really helped. But I wanted to make this video to kind of just say, it's not okay. It's not okay to judge somebody based on their appearance or how they sound or how they act or anything about. You cannot judge somebody until you know them. There's this, I'm going to kind of go off and then come back. It all ties together, I promise. There is this site, which I think most of you know about. It's called ask.fm. And the idea behind it is kind of a good idea. You're going to talk to people and ask them questions. Maybe it's something that you're afraid to ask them in real life. But from what I've seen, all it is just a way to bully people because you've judged them prematurely, or maybe you do know them, but it's just a way to kind of bully somebody. And so my sister and one of my best friends, thankfully both just leave their accounts. I know that they are two very confident people, and they are very loving, and they know who they are, and they don't let anybody else define them. But constantly they were berated and called fat and ugly and stupid and annoying, and my sister was called a whore and a slut, and my best friend was called gay and a faggot and all of these things. And I'm sorry if any of those words offend you, I really do. But people would take it to this point where they felt the need to degrade one another. And even though it didn't bother them so much, I mean, I'm sure it did. You can only be being called something so much before it really starts to wear down on you. I think it bugged me more than it bugged them. And thankfully, those two were my heroes and finally deleted their accounts. Because so often they were just being torn down and broken and beaten down. And I don't know. It was stupid, but I feel like so often people feel the need to tear others down. And that's not okay. And I know I can't make you stop if you do, but I'm begging you to please stop, because it took me away from something that I do enjoy. I will go back next week because I'm going to show those haters who I am and what I can do. But that doesn't make it okay, because not everybody can stand up and pick themselves back up and say, you know what, try and bring me down. Because there are people that give up in the face of all this judgment. So if you are doing anything to tear anybody down, please stop. I don't care if it's anonymously or face to face or, just a snide remark from anybody. Please stop. So I want to tell you, I know who I am. And I know I am not a Victoria's Secret model. And I know I do not have the voice of an angel. And I know that I am not a size 2 anything. And I know that maybe I'm not the strongest member of my church. And I know that I am not the smartest person in the world. But that is okay, because I am who I am, and I am a good person. I am kind, and I try to understand, and I struggle with it. I do. I think all of us do, It's hard to be nice and patient and gentle. But I work on it all the time, because that's the kind of person I want to be. And I'm not a size 2. And I'm not huge either. But, and that's okay. Even though it's something I struggle with, my weight is something I struggle with, and I know a lot of us do. But I am okay with who I am, and I know I'm not a Victoria's Secret model or any kind of model. But I am beautiful in my own way. And some days even I don't believe that myself. But it's something I have to tell myself until I believe it. And you know what? Today, even though I was beaten down and judged and stared at, I know I am beautiful. I mean, check me out. But I want you to know, if you are struggling, that you are beautiful, or you are handsome, that you are wonderful. And I might not know all of you personally, but that doesn't matter, because you are wonderful and you have something to offer. And I don't know what it is, and no, I don't know where you come from, but you are wonderful and you have something to offer. So don't give up, and be who you were always meant to be. And just love everybody. And be nice. And don't judge so quickly. Get to know somebody before you make any kind of judgment. And even at that point, even if you don't like somebody, that's no excuse to call somebody something hurtful or do something hurtful. Be who you are, and don't let anybody tell you who that is. I'm sorry this video was so long and serious, but it's just something I struggled with today, and I know a lot of us struggle with it. But I want you to know that I do love you. I may not know you. And you know what? I may be super awkward in real life, and I might not show it. But you're amazing, and I want to meet every single one of you, and I want to hug every single one of you. You are beautiful. You are worth it. And you are amazing. Alright, next week I'll post the original video I planned. Something to look forward to. It's about how I scare myself in my new place. Click subscribe if you want to see more. Comment if you want to. Like this video I don't know if you liked it. But thank you for taking the time to watch it, even though it was a long time. And be amazing. I can't say that enough. I love you. Have a good week.